Hello and welcome to the Stay at Home Starseed podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Carroll, and we will be taking a journey through all of the topics that come up in my life, whether that's mom stuff, parenting, or environmental stuff, being a spiritual practitioner, a psychic, kind of all over the place. That's what we're here to do, is discover life and discover that which is beyond the life that we see in our everyday reality. So there is going to be a lot that we're going to cover. Some of that might be controversial. Some of that may piss you off. Maybe some of it you don't even believe. But we're going to look and explore all of it, because what is the fun in having this life and not exploring and just sitting there and doing the same old thing over and over, whether that makes us happy or not. And my guess is that for the most people that would be listening to this, and pretty much all people in the world, that doing the same thing over and over has got to be completely boring, with no adventure, nothing to explore. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just my adventurous spirit. I don't know. But I'm going to say that if you are here, that you are like that, and that's what we are going to look at. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So this is a way for me to really get out a lot of things that I want to express and share with the world. This is going to be my outlet for doing that. I never really intended to have a podcast. I was kind of persuaded by some lovely ladies after they heard a recording that I did. And so now here we are in this beautiful unfolding of magic and wonder and mystery, and whatever comes will come, and it's going to be so exciting, and I can't wait to see what happens. Again, this is just an outlet for me. I'm not doing this for anything in particular other than getting my voice out, but I do definitely want to hear your feedback. Please send that in if there's any specific topic that you want to talk about or discuss. If it sets you off, it probably sets me off too. So we will probably cover it at some point. So yeah, I totally want to hear what you think. So shoot that stuff over to me at stayatHomeStarseed@gmail.com, and we can have a dialogue and have fun, and everybody can get a little bit of a glimpse into my world, because it is definitely something else. What's with the name? Okay, so the Stay at Home Starseed came to me because I wanted something that would really be a bridge between this mundane life that we have as moms or parents, or just anybody really, just this mundane life that we have, but we are also spiritual. And a lot of times people like to compartmentalize, where they have their normal everyday stuff, and then they have their spiritual practice, which is done in this meditation room or behind closed doors or in this ceremony or something like that. Is not brought into their everyday life. And really, our spirituality is our everyday life, and there are ways that we can put it all together, so it's not separate. And when we compartmentalize, it's almost like we're shaming our spirituality, or we're shaming our mundane life as a stay-at-home mom, or a working person, or whatever it is. And we don't need to do that. If we are going to live these full, embodied, amazing lives, then all of that really needs to come together. And I don't see a lot of people talking to that. We have a lot of podcasts out there that are for parents or stay-at-home moms and all of these, quote, mommy topics, but they're not really bridging into the spirituality part. And if you go to the spiritual podcasts, and we're talking about spirituality, I mean, that's the focus. The focus is on the spirituality and the practice, and it doesn't really talk, for the most part. Now, there are exceptions, but a lot of these podcasts and these videos or these gurus, teachers, whoever it is, they're not talking about everyday life and what those practices are actually like in our life. I did a search for like a spiritual stay-at-home mom, and really the only things that came up in a search just to see what was out there were these Christian blogs about how being a stay-at-home mom is Christian, or how it's spiritual, or what the Bible says about being a stay-at-home mom. It was very Christian oriented. There wasn't anything outside of that really bridged these two things. And I think a lot of time being a stay-at-home mom can be so isolating, and there's so much going on. We're doing so much that taking in that spiritual practice and looking at these other ideas and these other ways of living and combining that together with what we're doing, we can be more fulfilled and we can have more of a life than what we think we can. And sometimes as a stay-at-home mom, we want to have more of a life, and we can't find a way to do that. So I kind of want to look at that and what we can do to kind of merge the two together and really expand our knowledge beyond the everyday. So some of what I'm going to say might be out there. You might think I'm crazy. That's okay. Everybody has their opinion. I'm going to say what comes to mind, or what we want to talk about, or whoever I want to interview. That's just going to be the way that this goes. Now, if you're familiar with tarot, just a little bit about my personality and a warning up front. So I can be described as two different cards. So in tarot, usually we have identification cards, like the court cards can give us different personalities, different types of people that we meet, or the energies or the types of people that we need to become. So describing me as a tarot card, I can be the Queen of Cups, which I'm very emotional, in the sense that I am an empath. I'm very empathic. I can feel other people's emotions. I can put myself into their shoes. I'm intuitive. I can pick up on a lot. So more of like the magical aspect of the Queen of Cups, but I also can be described as the Queen of Swords because I am an air sign. And so I have that straight to the point, cut around the bullshit kind of attitude to some things. And I'm not, I guess I don't sugarcoat it. I'm not that nice sometimes about the way that I say things. And I don't mean it in like a shitty way. That's just the way I communicate sometimes. And it could be a bit harsh, especially if you're not used to that, because just like Kali uses her sword to decapitate people, to break them free from their ego and their mental constructs, I kind of work in the same way. So having said that, this is a warning because there may be some things that come at you right up in your face that trigger you or make you upset or make you lash out at me. And I'm kind of expecting that because it seems to be when I put ideas or new ways of doing things, people are afraid of change and they like to hold that against me or come at me or just don't like me. So I will let you be the judge of that, how you want to interpret me and take it in. And that's really where we're going with this podcast. We're going to make it amazing, and it's going to be different and all over the place, because I'm all over the place, and I think most people are. And we're just trying to find some logical, coherent way to put all of that craziness together into a life that actually makes sense. So that's what we are going to attempt to do. We are going to talk about things that piss us off, or at least that piss me off, different ways of looking at things that maybe aren't normally discussed. So I'll probably rant and go on and on and on about some things. It's going to be exciting, and we will see where it goes. If you have any questions or any specific topics that you would like me to cover, feel free to send those to me. I am totally up for that. And we will see what we can do about that, because there's no telling what people want to hear that's not being talked about. So let's do that. Let's have a conversation. Let's open this up to whatever wants to present itself, and we will go from there. So you can contact me at the email stayatHomeStarseed@gmail.com. Again, that's stayatHomeStarseed@gmail.com. You send that information and feedback, questions, topics, whatever. You can send it to that email, and I will get on that in whatever way. So I will leave it at that for this first one, just as a short introduction, and we will take it from here.